Oh my gosh, that was the most insane and craziest trade deadline that I've ever seen. And I'm not gonna lie, I've never really been interested in the trade deadline before, but oh my goodness, there were so many players that were traded, so many teams that just got so much better, and so many trades that just make you think, what the heck are you doing as the general manager of a baseball team? What are you doing? What's going on, guys? It's Fuzzy. Welcome back to our second MLB update / recap video of today, and man, do we have some stuff to talk about. Before we start talking about all of the just insane trades that just went down, I have an announcement to make, okay? Because we are so close to 45,000 subscribers, and I want to congratulate and celebrate by giving you guys something that's pretty cool. So if you guys do not have MLB, if you have no way to watch your favorite baseball team, you're in luck, because I will be giving away a 1-year MLB TV subscription as soon as we hit 45,000 subscribers. So if you hit it today, I will be giving it away tomorrow in the video that we post tomorrow morning. So make sure that you guys subscribe, turn on those bells, because I will post it as the top comment of tomorrow's video if we get there tonight. So good luck to whoever wins this tomorrow if we get to 45,000 subscribers. And without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into the trades that just went down, because we have so much to cover. The way that we're going to structure this video is we're going to start from the best players and go all the way down to not the worst players, but the players that are not up to the skill. And the first player that we have to talk about is Chris Archer of the Tampa Bay Rays being traded to the Pittsburgh Pirates for Austin Meadows and Tyler Glasnow. And to be honest with you, the Pirates, they just got gypped, okay? Chris Archer, yes, he's going to be good, and the Pirates are trying to go for a playoff spot this year. But the Pirates, if you date back all the way to last year, they sold low on Garrett Cole, and now they sold high on Chris Archer. Don't get me wrong. Again, Chris Archer's really good, but Austin Meadows, he's a beast. That guy rakes. Tyler Glasnow, he's like 6'6", 6'7". He's going to be a pretty good pitcher, I feel like, in my opinion, going forward. So what do you guys think of this trade? Let me know in the comment section down below. Do you think this was a good trade? Again, Chris Archer of the Tampa Bay Rays was just traded to the Pittsburgh Pirates for Austin Meadows and Tyler Glasnow. What do you guys think? One more thing to add is, aside from Blake Snell, who do they have on the pitching staff for the Tampa Bay Rays? I'm trying to think. I don't think anyone. Let me know too in the comment section if you guys want to give me the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 starters for the Rays, because I now have no idea. Another blockbuster trade that happened was Brian Dozier was traded to the Los Angeles Dodgers, and this is just, it's not fair, man. How do you get Manny Machado and Brian Dozier in the span of a week and a half, 2 weeks? Don't get me wrong, I'm not a Dodgers hater or anything like that, but they just get everyone. Magic Johnson, I mean, he's had an amazing month. He gets Dozier, he gets Manny Machado, he gets LeBron James all in the span of 30 days. That guy is an absolute wizard. Maybe he is magic, okay? Maybe he is. The only player that you really have to pay attention to is the fact that Logan Forsythe was traded for Brian Dozier. So the Twins, they're really trying to unload all of their contracts. They just traded Lance Lynn, Zach Duke, a lot of different players, Eduardo Escobar, now Brian Dozier. So they have a completely different squad. I feel like the Twins were going to be really good because Eddie Rosario was starting to hit really well. Irvin Santana's still on the squad. I just thought maybe with Lance Lynn, that would put them over the hump. But obviously, he did not cut it with a 5.1 ERA, and now he's on the Yankees. But Brian Dozier of the Minnesota Twins is no longer a Minnesota Twin. He is now with the LA Dodgers, and yeah. So, what do you guys think of this trade? Are the Dodgers now World Series favorites? Let me know. Do you guys remember in the last video how I talked about the 2 players of the week? So in the AL, it was Jonathan Schoop, and in the NL, it was Christian Yelich. Well, they're now teammates because the Baltimore Orioles traded Jonathan Schoop to the Milwaukee Brewers. The Brewers, they traded Jonathan Villar and a few other prospects. I think his name is Luis Ortiz and Gene Camarona. So you got a good number of prospects in return. And just like the Twins, the Orioles are trying to clean house. They traded a couple different players that I haven't mentioned yet, but we will bring them up. They've traded Machado, they've traded Zach Britton, they've traded Jonathan Schoop. I feel like Adam Jones and Chris Davis are the only ones from that core crew that have not been traded yet. There were a few other trades, but we'll get into that in just a second. So keep your ears open and your seatbelts fastened, because we have so much more to talk about. Actually, you know what? We'll just bring them up now. So the 2 other players that were traded from the Orioles to the Braves are making an absolute push to try and beat the Phillies out for #1 in the AL Central, I believe they are. The Braves sent 4 players in a package that will include Kevin Gausman, which has had a kind of up and down season, but when he's on his game, he's really good, and the relief pitcher, Darren O'Day. Everyone knows who Darren O'Day does because he pitches like this. He's a submarine pitcher. He's having a decent season. He's not the player that he was before, but he's definitely accepted and a respected believer in Major League Baseball. So in the final minute of the trade deadline, they got rid of Kevin Gausman, they got rid of Darren O'Day, and then the big one, Jonathan Schoop. So they are looking like a brand new team. All of these teams just kind of suck now. The Twins, the Orioles, they got rid of everyone. The Marlins are still bad. I mean, what's happening? Maybe that's part of the reason why people don't go to baseball games as much as they used to. That's maybe why attendance is down, is because teams are just very, very, very bad. I mean, with any sport, teams are going to be very bad. But when you have this many bad teams, it's gonna add up. This next trade was pretty big as well. Wilson Ramos of the Tampa Bay Rays. The Rays had a kind of weird one. They traded Chris Archer and Wilson Ramos, probably their two best players, but you know, as baseball, you don't really understand trades until a few years later. Wilson Ramos was traded over to the Phillies for a player to be named later and cash, so the Phillies picked up an excellent catcher. Now, I will say the Phillies already have a pretty decent catcher in terms of a defensive catcher, Jorge Alfaro. He has the best arm in all of baseball, pretty decent glove as well. But the guy cannot keep up with Wilson Ramos in terms of hitting, so that's going to be a pretty decent trade considering the fact that the Braves made a bunch of amazing signings and trades, so the Phillies, they're going to have to keep up because they're only a few games ahead of the Braves, and the Braves, they're coming for him. Brad Ziegler, another guy that throws kind of weird, has a funky motion, was just traded to the D-backs, and the D-backs, they also got Jake Diekman for Wei Chen Huang. Then in order to get Brad Ziegler, they had to trade their prospect Tommy Evold, which is, I've heard he's pretty good. He's not the best. I will say Brad Ziegler in his last 28 appearances has a sub-1 ERA, so that's really good. Again, the Diamondbacks are pushing for that #1 spot in the NL West, which is going to be pretty tough considering the Rockies are playing really well. The Diamondbacks, again, the team that we're just talking about, they picked up a few pieces, but the Dodgers, they got Brian Dozier and they got a few other pieces. I think John Axford of the Blue Jays was just traded to the Dodgers as well, and John Axford, I think he had 1 or 2 seasons where he was absolutely elite and amazing, but he hasn't been the same since, probably about 5 to 6 years since he's been elite. The Dodgers, the Diamondbacks, the Rockies, the Braves, the Phillies, everyone's getting better. The Brewers got Jonathan Schoop, so man, this is probably the most intense trade deadline that I've ever seen. Again, I haven't been paying attention to the trade deadline that often, but if I think back to the past couple years, I feel like this was the most active. And the last 2 players that we're going to be talking about are players that, they might make a difference, but they're not really that great of players. Brandon Kinsler of the Nationals was just traded to the Chicago Cubs, so let's see if he makes an impact. I'm going to be honest, he's not the best pitcher that I've ever seen. Then we have Cameron Maybin of the Miami Marlins traded to the Seattle Mariners for a man named Bryson Brigman, so we'll see how that pans out. I looked at Cameron Maybin's stats for this year. He's not having a great year. He's getting kind of old, but that doesn't mean that he cannot contribute, especially with the Mariners. They made a bunch of different trades, so let's see how this season is going to pan out. There were so many different acquisitions and trades and all these different just moves that were made that really just got my head spinning. So hopefully you guys are a little bit more updated now that I just presented you with all of those different, scenarios that we just went over. So let me quickly recap what we just talked about. Chris Archer was just traded to the Pirates. Brian Dozier was just traded to the Dodgers. Jonathan Schoop was traded to the Milwaukee Brewers. Wilson Ramos was just traded to the Philadelphia Phillies. Brad Ziegler and Jake Diekman were just traded to the Diamondbacks, 2 really solid bullpens, so that's going to really help them out in the long run. Kevin Gausman and Darren O'Day were just sent over to the Braves. Cameron Maybin was sent to the Seattle Mariners. And then last but not least, we have that Brandon Kinsler from the Nationals to the Cubs. So we had so many things happen. I want you guys to comment down below, what was your favorite trade and favorite part about the trade deadline? Were you guys most surprised by the Jonathan Schoop trade, the Brian Dozier trade, the Wilson Ramos, or the Chris Archer trade? Guys, let me know in the comment section down below. Again, we are so close to 45,000 subscribers. I'll be sure to drop that code in tomorrow's video as long as we can get to 45,000 subscribers by the end of tonight. So just like the trade deadline, there will be a deadline on this code. So guys, that's going to do it for me today. Thank you all so much for the support. I hope that you guys had an amazing day. Again, baseball is my favorite sport in the entire world. I know it's probably your guys as well. So if you are passionate about baseball, hit that sub. I'm going to go ahead and go get some food and water because my brain is about mush right now. So yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video. All right, guys, peace out.